getting stuff set up right now. It's a little after 12. It's like overcast and rainy all day today, so the will to really do anything is kind of I'm taking it easy today. Alright, I'm currently dumping footage from yesterday's vlog. I tried something a little different, or I want to try something a little different. I want to make it a little bit longer, but since I played drums back there for like an hour, I want to incorporate more of that in this video. And if that's something that you like or you enjoy more than like just seeing really small snippets of it, let me know, because it's something I'm a little I don't really know what to think, to be honest. I like it, but I also don't want these videos to become boring or monotonous and having like a 10-minute long thing of me playing drums. I don't know if that's if you like that, let me know. If not, then let me know your thoughts. So I have like the full, like, it's like a minute or whatever of me tuning the drums, and it's cool because you can actually hear the pitch change and shift as that's really cool. The drum nerd in me appreciates that. I was hoping that the microphones would pick it up, and I didn't know until now. I'm glad they did. So I'm shooting this stuff in a vertical format like that. And I decided to have a little bit of fun. So what I'm doing is I'm starting this clip on one side of the screen, and it'll slowly move as the clip plays. It's like a 1.5-minute clip, so it's just slowly. That's really funny. That's the dumbest idea I've ever had, but I'm for sure keeping it. So I get asked on a regular basis how I get my snare drum sound to sound like this. And it's honestly not that complicated. Most of it is really just how I have the mics placed. Like I'm using 0 samples on my snare. It's all natural. So I figured today I'm going to tell you what I'm doing over there to make it sound like that. To get the sound, it's really not that complicated. For microphones, I have a condenser KSM9 on the top, and then I have the classic SM57 on the bottom. An important thing to note is how I have the microphones placed on the snare drum, because you wouldn't think it would make a big difference, but it really does. When I started doing it this way, I noticed my snare drum sounded a lot more natural and a lot more open. So basically all I'm really doing is first I'm making sure that the microphones are the same spot on the drum, like they're like lined up with each other. But then another thing is on the bottom, if you see my snare wires, both microphones are in line with the snare wires. That makes a big difference. When you do that, it'll make your snares sound more open, and it sounds like the drum just breathes a lot better when it's recorded that way. Now, aside from tuning, I also do have the snares fairly loose. So if I turn the snares on right here and I run my finger across the snares, they're not super tight. That's also a great way to give yourself fake reverb. The reason the snares aren't super tight is because it will prevent the drum from being choked out. If your snares are too tight, it can also choke the drum and make it not sound great. The only other thing is tuning, and as you can probably tell, the drum is pretty low. It's like medium low. So I mean, it doesn't That's actually a little bit too low for my taste, but I just finished playing. That's really pretty much it. It's not super complicated. I like to keep it simple. It allows me to keep the consistency the same, and honestly, I just don't want to overcomplicate things. That's what I'm doing, and it works for me. If you ended up trying anything that I suggested, I would love to know. Comment down below if you do, or send me a DM or anything like that. Keep it simple. So the problem of having a small space like this is if anything's out of place, then it just instantly feels messy. And right here, these two culprits are making the space feel pretty messy, but I'm reluctant to put them back because of one simple thing. So this is a Ludwig Acrolite, 70s Acrolite. And I've been kind of toying back and forth between this guy on the kit and then my Ludwig Black Beauty, which is over there. And if you know anything about drums, those two drums have completely different vibes, and I've been loving both of them. So much so that I literally, it's like every other day they end up switching being on the drum set. And because I'm switching them so frequently, I don't want to put it back. But the price is that my closet looks like this. I'm willing to pay that price for now. I'm sure eventually I won't and I'll put it back, but for now it's worth the price. You know, as a kid, I always preferred rainy days over sunny days. I think a lot of it was because I grew up in California and it was 70 and sunny all day long. So whenever we got like any kind of change in the weather, it was the most epic and like insane thing ever. So I've always been partial to having like rainy days and stuff like that. As I was working after I shot the last little bit you just saw, I worked for a couple hours, and a thought popped into my head that I didn't think about when I was shooting, and I felt like it was worth mentioning. So in any kind of art form, there's always going to be, it's impossible to completely copy or duplicate somebody else's like art form, whether that's playing drums or painting a beautiful painting or shooting videos. Everybody's gonna have their own thing, and that's one of the reasons why art and music and stuff like it's just amazing, because it's an interpretation of somebody else's like outlook on life. That being said, even if you do exactly what I do with my snare drum and everything else, and you mic it the same, you tune it the same, everything, if you duplicate it the exact same, use the same drumsticks, everything, the sound may be close, but it won't be exactly spot on. And whether that's your goal or your objective is to completely copy whatever sound that you hear, or not. That's a good thing that it's different, because that means that it's uniquely you. You're gonna hit the snare drum, or you're gonna hit whatever different than how I hit the drum, and because of that, it's gonna make it sound different. If we were in person together and I played the drums and then you played the drums, same exact beat, same everything, it still would sound different and would have a different vibe because it was a different human being playing the instrument. As cheesy as this sounds, it's not the instrument that makes your playing special, it's you that makes your playing special. And I think the thing that really separates professionals from non-professionals for drums or whatever is they know how to lean into what makes them special and to really own that. I didn't really understand until I started getting hired for studio stuff why that's so important. And when you get hired for studio things, a lot of time they're hiring you for a reason, because they want your interpretation and they want your voice on whatever project it may be. And to try to stifle that by trying to implement and copy somebody verbatim would do a disservice to you and your playing. That's basically it. I thought about that, and I wanted to include that in this video because it is important. And also, there's a propane tank right here. It was my job. We ran out of propane like 2.5, 3 months ago, and it was my job to replace it, and I haven't yet.